talk around whatever as we slowly get our viewers and whatnot. Hey guys, we're on time. It's crazy for us. Can't believe it. We're here. We
never would have made it without you.
Are you singing now because a viewer said you had good pipes?
No, I'm singing because we actually we actually made it on time.
Okay. I don't know if we are on time because this thing says an error has occurred.
Anakin.
On his thing it says maybe reload it and try again. I'm going to try on my phone and see.
I'm going to try it right now.
We'll see how it is. In this technology run place that we have, we don't know how stuff works.
Oh, we know how it works. It just doesn't.
It just doesn't.
It just doesn't work. Yeah, 8 o'clock, guys.
It says live.
8 o'clock, guys.
If you want it all, you can get it all.
You want to turn it down?
Don't worry about what I want to do.
You want to turn it down?
No, I wanted to keep going.
Oh, there was an ad.
We're live. Yeah, so maybe we should
There's an ad, okay.
Yeah.
A Spartan ad, too.
Yeah. All right,
I haven't
so
done one of those in a while.
got a couple of breaking news stories happening. We got Spider-Man may or may not be with the MCU anymore, which would be so sad. We also, hopefully we're going to try and talk about The Matrix.
I'm going to let you handle that one. I'm going to just interject stuff.
I mean, I just want to talk about The Matrix 4 happening.
Oh, okay.
I just think that's cool.
Okay.
That's kind of the two big stories we had, because we're just like, this happened.
Yeah.
Because first, we were working on some videos that you will see slowly populate on our channel.
Yeah.
Different teasers came out, our trailers came out. And our digital director, when I went back upstairs, he came to me and said, man, I was going to run down and give you this thing, because he didn't know what we were working on. And he had a paper talking about Matrix 4 and all that stuff. I was like, oh, it's actually because the rumor had been happening, it was going to happen for a while.
There was a lot of in talks, in development.
Yeah, but now it's actually happening.
It's official.
Yeah.
There are papers signed.
Nerds, what's up, IMAX? Clay Porter.
Oh, nice. IMAX. Check it out. Are you feeling Little Brother's new album? I just got it today because it finally was able to listen to it. IMAX, when we had asked the question, what musical Funko Pop would you like? IMAX was like, Little Brother.
Okay.
Fonte and Big Poop. So.
Okay. He'll let us know in a few seconds here.
Yep.
So yeah, we talked about Matrix, and then maybe a few minutes later, the Spider-Man news broke that Sony and Marvel
that broke for me in the 5. Like, I saw it in the 5.
Oh, you were punching the show.
I was punching the show, and I was trying to get, because, we try to, put stuff on our Instagram that's, like, timely, but also, like, and I was trying to get on Instagram the Spider-Man. I wish you guys could see him trying to weave himself behind
the work
camera.
that Anakin does to make sure he's not on camera is incredible.
I will say
it's
this.
Cool.
This is some of the best dressed I've ever seen him.
He looks good.
His clothes are ironed.
Yeah, he looks sharp.
He looks together.
He looks good.
He looks like a plaintiff in a court case and not the defendant. Normally, he looks like the person you're suing.
Right.
Like this person threw some rocks through your window, on your golf resort.
Right.
He now looks like the person who's like, look, I parked my car here and these kids scratched it with their skateboard. That's how he looks.
Fantastic.
They'll never know. Oh, I'm going to take a picture of you. That's my goal. To
Wonderful.
Review you. But so I was looking for, Funko, thanks Anakin. Funko said that we're going to release with previews, the Miles Morales hoodie Spider-Man.
From Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
That's cool.
So I was excited looking for a picture to post, and then I saw on our Facebook page, Eric Woodard, who owns Scratch and Spin, posts the Spider-Man information, and I was like, holy, I texted you, and I was like, holy, whatever.
Right.
And just like, yo. So let's get into it. So
what are we talking about? Are we talking about Spider-Man first? I mean, that's the big thing.
Let's do Spider-Man.
So, I mean, are we reading from these things? What are we doing?
So basically, this is how it broke down. For those of you guys who don't know or do know, Deadline was the first people to report talks were over. Then Variety...
Talks were over between Sony and
Disney.
Marvel. Well, yeah, Disney.
And Disney.
Right.
And everybody freaked out. And everybody's still freaking out because the deal is they make the movies together, but Sony owns the rights. The movie rights for Spider-Man. A lot of people were asking, remember, why did we not see anything from San Diego Comic-Con for Phase 4 for Spider-Man? Because that's not Marvel's call.
Right.
A lot of people were asking, why did Spider-Man Far From Home trailer get released before we saw Endgame?
Again, that's not Marvel's
That's
call.
not
That
Marvel.
was what Sony wanted to do.
So that's what Sony wanted to do. So that's where we are right now. IGN reported it, then they updated their story. Right here. So here's the story from IGN. Spider-Man's future in the MCU remains unclear due to a series of reports detailing a breakdown of negotiations.
You want to read the whole thing?
No, just the
Okay.
negotiations between Sony Pictures and Disney Marvel. Deadline first reported that Marvel will not produce any further Spider-Man films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe due to an inability between Sony Pictures and Disney to reach a new deal. Later, Variety makes Spider-Man's fate seem a bit murkier, reporting Sony and Marvel have reached an impasse in negotiations, but a source indicates a deal still might be reached between Disney and Sony. Mm-hmm. So we have two competing news reports with different sources. Now, here's what IGN also says. One source has informed IGN that negotiations are ongoing. Meanwhile, a separate source tells IGN that Deadline's initial report is accurate.
Right.
So that's where we are right now. We're at an impasse for what's going on. So, Michael, what do you think?
I mean,
what do you think about this whole situation? What do you think about this situation?
The whole situation right now makes me kind of sad because I think we knew everything was gonna come to an end eventually, right? Because everybody wants to take all the money they can. Nobody wants to share. Everybody wants their own profits. It was incredible when this deal was first reached for Civil War that Spider-Man was going to be in an MCU. Because I don't know if you had listened to like the director's commentary where the Russo brothers and I think the screenwriters talked about if they had a plan B, like if they couldn't get Spider-Man, the movie would have focused more or kind of shifted a little bit more on Black Panther to give him more of that, what Spider-Man was dealing with. So it was incredible that they struck this deal, they got this done. Everybody was excited. Spider-Man has outperformed. Everybody has loved the new Spider-Man stuff.
Correct. I mean, but it is kind of hard to not love it after the Sony produced two movies that were critically and commercially panned.
They made money.
They made money.
They didn't do as good as they wanted to. But yeah, I mean they were commercially viable. But when Homecoming came out, it was a breath of fresh air. Everybody loved Tom Holland. They loved his take, and people really loved Marvel's input in Spider-Man in terms of guiding where that franchise was going to be.
And when you say Marvel's input, whose input do you mean?
Uber producer Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige, friend of the show.
Yeah, So side note. In one of our other videos, I asked somebody to do a hashtag New Mutants release, and they did it.
Ray Sean did.
Ray Sean, thank you, appreciate it.
I told y'all to stop.
Let's get another hashtag going. Kevin Feige on News 19.
Kevin Feige, friend of the show.
Friend of the show, yeah. But seriously though, yeah, I mean, everything he touches is gold. Every movie he's done since Marvel Studios has been its own entity.
Since he's in
has been a commercial success.
Yeah.
Even the movies that were not great. Like, people don't really like The Incredible Hulk. People may not like Iron Man 2. People may not like Thor Dark World.
But also,
they still make money.
But also, those are the early movies that he cut his teeth on before he got more control. And they switch to where Ike Perlmutter. Mutter. Is it Mutter? Perlmutter didn't have as much control. Because remember, there was a lot of problems with Iron Man 3, where Rebecca Hall was supposed to be the original villain, and they pulled her. They got rid of, they brought in Don Cheadle over, what's up, man?
His name is Terrence Howard.
What's up, man?
You will respect Lucius Lyon.
What's up, man?
Okay.
And the rumor was that he said, and I mean, it's been reported, just switch out black guys. They won't notice a difference. There is a difference. One is lighter than the other one. One is older than the other one.
Yeah.
So this right now is Kevin Feige shepherding one of the greatest franchises ever. But he's made some missteps in the beginning. Like you said, like people didn't like. So he's
and the thing is, like, even his missteps
are better than people's.
Right.
Home
I mean,
runs.
even his missteps are still multi-million-dollar franchises with lots of money. So we kind of got off topic for me. Okay, so we get through all that. Kevin Feige's doing everything. I hope they can come to an agreement. I feel like they will, because I'm hoping that cooler heads will prevail and Sony can realize, we kind of need Kevin Feige. We need MCU, because this whole idea of having a Spider-Man franchise sounds cool, but the people that would run it, I don't think they're going to do it correctly.
Why not?
Venom was cool. Venom was.
It made $800 million.
It made $800 million
worldwide.
I think that was a breakout success. I don't think Sony was predicting it to make $800 million. I mean, it did really well overseas in terms of how they marketed it.
It did really well in China thanks to their partnership with Tencent, who they, not to get too murky, we'll get into that later, but what Sony and a lot of companies have been doing is they've been hiring and making movies with a Chinese production company, because then what happens is those companies are able to market these movies correctly to the Chinese audience.
Yeah.
Star Wars does not do as well in China as Marvel movies do, because of how they did not grow up with Star Wars. The Chinese audience grew up with Marvel. So that's another reason why, because one of the things you noticed was if you looked at some of the marketing for Venom, they made Venom seem like a boyfriend in the marketing to people.
Yeah.
And that's
the Chinese trailer made it seem like it was a rom-com, which was cool, unexpected, and
so
it worked.
It really was one of those things where they made a very good push to market the movie correctly. And let's be honest, Tom Hardy carried that entire film on his shoulders, back, his buttocks, his thighs. Tom Hardy is Venom.
Yeah. So that's one thing that Sony did well. And you could argue, as fun as the movie is, it's still a mess.
Oh, the first 40 minutes.
Like Venom, it's a fun movie, but it is
the first 40 minutes is still like, ugh.
Yeah.
Until that one voice shows up and he scares himself into the tub.
Yeah.
It's a sludge.
It's a jumble mess. So we don't know what we're gonna get. I hope Venom 2 is gonna be good.
With Andy Serkis being on board. So
Yeah.
you've also got Woody Harrelson, and you also have Tom Hardy involved in the writing, because I'm gonna be honest with you, Michelle Williams did nothing.
Yeah.
And that was a horrible wig she had on.
Yeah. And
Atrocious.
Michelle Williams is
an Oscar-winning actress.
Right.
Like, you wasted.
She's
Michelle,
talented, and she got wasted.
You literally wasted Michelle Williams. So I mean,
and I think there are reports saying that she wants a bigger role, which would be awesome.
So would it be cool? And
Yeah.
I mean, so Sony didn't. To me, that's not a great Sony movie. It's Sony kind of finding money.
Right. My fear of Sony controlling Spider-Man, and somebody said MCU IMAX, MCU is good, Sony will mess it up. That does seem like that could be the case, because
we won't disagree with that statement.
I mean, we have
based on
Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man.
I kind of liked Amazing Spider-Man.
You know why you liked Amazing Spider-Man?
Because Andrew Garfield.
Yep, you liked Andrew Garfield and you loved Emma Stone.
Yeah.
And you loved the relationship.
I like the chemistry.
And you got to see what it would be like if that was Gwen Stacy.
I think the issue and I think there's a precedent that shows when Sony is in charge of Spider-Man for too long, they don't give characters enough time to breathe. They put too much into movies as they're trying to set stuff up for other stuff.
Because this is the thing, everybody wants a franchise.
Right.
So they don't build, but this is not just Sony who does that.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, everybody does it. Marvel does it in a few movies, but they have so many movies that can spread it out.
But this is
you could argue that Iron Man 2 was overstuffed with too many stuff going on. You could argue that Avengers Age of Ultron had too many things going on.
For me, Age of Ultron gets a lot of heat. To me, not really. I enjoy Age of Ultron. I love Age of Ultron because to me, it was like a comic book going on with so many different things. So to me, I love it. But I will say this, going back to your point, with Sony shepherding the Spider-Man franchise, there is a possibility, 80-20, 70-30, it could blow up in their face.
Yeah.
Now, with the report that Deadline put out, it's over. Variety says it's over, but there could still be a deal. IGN says, from our source, each of these reports has merit. So one of the things that I want to give people what they don't know maybe out there, for us that we know from working in this business, which probably is the same thing out there, the entertainment business has trades where every person who writes for a particular paper or organization has a source. Just like we have reporters on the street who has a source in the fire department, police.
Yeah.
And they may have a source that talks to them with a little insight to what's going on. So you may get a nugget here, a nugget there. The difference between here and I don't want to say the real world, but in the entertainment world is you may leak a story to get it out there, to push a particular narrative, to get your point across. So it sounds like, and IGN even speculates, the Deadline report could be true. Mm-hmm. And it also could be true that it was leaked. They said, okay, we're at an impasse right now. We don't have a deal. And they could say, September the 24th, we're going to get together and talk again. But as it's right now, we have no deal. Mm-hmm. That could have been leaked for people to do this, to do what we're doing, speculate, freak out, oh my gosh, the sky's falling, so that we will force Sony back to the table. And then Sony could be like, nah, it wasn't us who killed the deal. We're still in negotiation. Right. And then leaked someone else. So we don't know where this information is coming from because nobody's putting their name next to, yes, Bob Iger says the deal is over. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We don't know that. We just know from what's been reported, the deal is off by Deadline. IGN says the deal could still possibly happen.
Yeah. So chat, kind of, we're going to have a little dialogue with you as best we can in this thing that's, on a 15-second delay or whatever. Let us know in the chat what you think about this. We're hearing some of you guys talk about the fact that this sucks. Somebody also brought up, is this the end of the MCU? I don't think this is the end of the MCU, only because Kevin Feige's still in charge. No. I feel like that's a question you ask when Kevin Feige decides to step down. Kevin Feige has plans on plans on plans.
Well, also remember, and this is another thing. So one of the things I wanted to bring up was Amy Pascal talked about when they originally did Homecoming. Mm-hmm. Here's one of the things that she said. She's a Spider-Man producer. One of the things that I think is so amazing about this experience is you don't have studios deciding to work together to make a film very often. In fact, it may never happen again after we do the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, which is Far From Home.
Which lets you know the relationship was rocky regardless because of how much money's involved.
Yeah.
And if you notice, it's not the end of the MCU because, like Michael said, Kevin Feige has Phase 4, and notice what is not in there.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And what did they just buy?
They just bought Fox.
And what does Fox own?
Fox got the mutants. What's up, Joe?
And what else? Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
And so...
And The Simpsons.
Thank you, Joe. Apparently, Joe wants to put The Simpsons in the MCU. Sure.
That's not going to happen.
Why not?
I will spend my entire existence fighting that.
It's whatever.
Like Blade killing vampires. The job will never be done, but I will take that on.
That could be a what if animated.
But no, I think they knew there's a possibility because you can't just bank on, hey, we're buddies right now. It's like that's billions of dollars on the table.
Yeah.
So I think they banked on the fact that it's a possibility Spider-Man this relationship may be over. What do we do? And
I think you make, to me...
contingency plans.
Yeah, but to me, well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Dean5733R for the donation. I think he donated last time we did a live show.
He did.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it for the donations.
IMAX.
Yeah.
Nick Jones. Oh, Nick Jones, what's up?
Is that D. Nick Jones?
That
friend of the show.
That is D.
What's
Nick
up,
Jones.
Nick Jones?
Ray Sean, I see them getting it. Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige, friend of the show.
Yeah, let's start that going. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah.
Contingency plans.
Contingency plans. What was I talking about, though? Contingency plans with what? With
Spider-Man. MCU's Phase 4.
Yeah, so...
I got you.
Yeah, but now I can't remember where I was going. Y'all, I literally lost what I was going to say.
We were talking about contingency plans and Kevin Feige saying, okay, we may lose Spider-Man, but Phase 4...
Oh, wait, bro. To me, it makes more sense, and I'm not an accountant, so I don't know how the money works out, but to me, it makes more sense... Hold on. Let's start with part one. The idea is the current deal, what people are reporting is that Marvel's probably getting 5% of first gross receipts from the movies they make with Sony. The new deal that they want is a 50-50 co-financing deal. Sony said, nah, we want to keep more money.
And then Sony countered with...
they want to keep it as it was. They didn't come with a counter.
They did have a counter for my...
The counter was keep the deal that we got. They didn't come back with nothing. That's why everybody was freaking out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. To me, it makes more sense that you get more money from letting this 50-50 deal happen, and you continue to make these bukus of dollars, right? Because Spider-Man just became Sony's highest grossing movie, just beat Skyfall. That news came out either today or yesterday. So
it's over $1.1 billion.
Yeah, so even if you're not getting 90% of the shares, if you're getting 50% of something, that's still a huge pie. Take it, right?
Because this is the thing, they don't want to share. And not only do they not want to share, everybody wants their own franchise. And they feel as if they can build up the Spider-Man universe because they are now been bolstered. What up, Beth? Friend of the show. They've been bolstered by Venom. And that little movie that was the best movie of last year, Into the Spider-Verse. Not commercially and critically acclaimed. It won an Oscar.
Yeah.
It won Golden Globes. It was literally one of the best movies of last year.
Yeah.
So Sony's looking at it saying, we can do this. We have the Spider-Verse and that little thing we have not talked about, which it's literally on everybody's mind. Streaming. Where does this movie go?
See,
and that's what Sony's looking at. Disney's looking at creatively and financially. It does better for us to work together, and let's make this work. And Disney's like, we want some more of this money back.
Right.
The problem with Sony is Sony's like, we need to do our own streaming stuff. You saw Sony today or this week bought Insomniac Games.
That is another. We could talk for
So-
hours
so-
about
so-
this because
so-
I am upset. Because that means I probably will not get another Sunset Overdrive, and that was a fun game, y'all. If you have an Xbox One, you owe it to your, and you like a nice little kind of a bouncy, no frills kind of light game, get Sunset Overdrive.
But that's the point. Sony's looking at it for them. I need a franchise. Everybody needs a franchise. If you look at the top 10 movies this year, grossing, only one was an original idea. Guess what that was?
I don't know. I'm not in school.
Us. Everything was either a sequel or based on or not based on original IP.
Okay.
David Cooper says, additionally, I may be wrong, but Marvel was also offering Sony a bigger part of the Marvel movies that Tom Holland was in. I do believe, possibly, I don't know, but I know Sony did counter with some stuff.
See, it seems every report that I'm reading it definitely seems like Sony is the bad guy in this.
Yes.
I haven't seen a report where, and I'm sure a more talented writer and journalist can, figure out that story of giving us their Sony perspective. But right now, it definitely seems like Sony is the bad guy.
Dude.
Because Marvel's coming to the table with everything. If this is true, then it's kind of like
think about this for a second. You made Disney the good guy.
the company that is slowly becoming the evil empire.
That's like the Empire. That's like, ooh, man,
Yeah.
the Empire got a bad deal.
Right.
They blew up planets, man. Like
Right.
you made Disney look bad, like did look good, and you look bad. This is the one thing I think Sony is making a misstep, and I think they do have a little bit of puff their chests out. We did this, but you only did it because you had help from the MCU.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, how good do you think Spider-Man Homecoming would have been without Iron Man being in there?
Yeah.
And having Kevin Feige shepherd that movie.
And we talked about this in a previous video. The Spider-Man movies, while not maybe critically acclaimed before Tom Holland, they were still commercially successful in terms of even Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 made tons of money.
Yeah, they were just...
Yeah, hundreds of millions of dollars. They were just kind of messes.
Yeah.
We saw when Spider-Man Homecoming came out, the return on the box office was not as much as they wanted, probably because people had backlash from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And they might have had Spider-Man fatigue.
Right.
Excuse me.
It took them a minute to realize, oh, this movie is good. I can trust this franchise again.
Because that's exactly what happened with Bumblebee. Bumblebee made money,
Right.
but as far as the other Transformer movies, it did not do as
Right.
well. And Bumblebee was a better film.
So it's almost like we know there are at least two more movies according to the report, at least there are two more movies for director Mark Webb and Tom Holland right now.
But Holland only has one more movie on this deal.
Yeah, but he'll probably come back.
He'll
I'm sure Sony could probably get him to come back.
But can Sony get him to come back if he's not in the MCU movies? And see, and that's he only has one more deal on. He only has one more movie on this deal. This deal was with the idea that you would play in the sandbox of the MCU.
Yeah.
Would he come back? If you know, like let's say this is right now, there is no deal. You're only going to be in the Spider-Man movie. You're only going to be in this universe, and that's it. If I'm Tom Holland, you got a little bit of weight to say, you need to make this deal or I'm not re-signing.
Yeah, and also the big thing is, if what is on the table now stays true, they're trying to build up their MCU universe or the Spider-Man universe, right? Mm-hmm. They want to have all these villains in it, the Sinister Six, all that stuff.
Not only that, they also have a Morbius film coming out.
I just said the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, but the Morbius film. So you've got that. You've got you had the Silver Sable.
They're two different movies now.
Yep. You had Black Cat. You have because they're not part of the Sinister Six. Those were just the movies they wanted.
The Spider-Man universe.
Then you had Venom. So now if you go without the MCU, how do you integrate Spider-Man into those movies?
Yeah. You gonna let me finish my thought, or you gonna cut me off?
I thought I did a better job of...
You didn't let me finish. You
just
started
talking
over me.
Go ahead.
Anyway, what I was saying was... No, you already said it. No, but seriously, you're gonna run into the same issue that we've already seen Sony struggle to do of... How do you tie up the Spider-Man thread while introducing new people? I feel like you're going to get into the same problem of, oh, we have to introduce Venom, we have to introduce all these people into this third Spider-Man movie while also tying up his, spoilers for Far From Home at this point, his On the Run, as it were. So, I don't know.
I mean, it's all very interesting. So Nick says, why don't we make a movie about the Green Goblin? Because we don't know who the Green Goblin's going to be.
Yeah, like they probably, they do have a precedent for having J. Jonah Jameson being the same person.
But
so they could bring back Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. They could. They probably wouldn't, but they could.
This is the thing. What I'm looking at is we don't know who's going to be who. Mm-hmm. If this deal doesn't get done. Because if this deal doesn't get done, then Sony has carte blanche to do whatever they want. Within realms of the Spider-Man cast that they already have. Mm-hmm. If it gets done, look for this deal to be shored up so that this can't happen again. Look for there to be an ironclad, okay, get the lawyers on it. Because Sony is playing with house money. Because this is how I look at Sony. You did okay. But you did okay because you had help. Mm-hmm. Don't F that up.
Yeah.
And Marvel's like, oh, we like Spider-Man. We don't need Spider-Man. Because, let me tell you why. When they bring the Fantastic Four and X-Men, mm-hmm. people could be like, Peter Parker, who?
I don't know about that.
Let me say why. Because it's not going to be on Marvel that Spider-Man's not in there. It's going to be on Sony. So that's why I said they're going to be good because it's going to be the same thing all over again. Sony's going to have to make the deal because they're going to see the mountains of cash that Disney continues to make on the MCU. And Sony's going to be Patrick in that meme where he's looking at everybody playing. Or is that Squidward?
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Marvel's going to be good.
Yeah. Your premise rests on the idea that people are in the know like we are. Because I still know people who say anything that's Marvel is Marvel Studios. Anytime they see that logo, they automatically think it's Marvel.
True.
I think after 10 years, people have a better understanding. But there are still some people who think if it's Marvel, it's Marvel Studios.
True, but this is the thing. If there's no deal, it's going to be front page that it's not Marvel. Because it won't even be in association with Marvel.
Yeah.
It'll just be Sony. And I think that's what's...
Well, no, it was still saying associated with Marvel.
You think so?
Oh, it has to.
I don't...
Because the other Spider-Man movies were already saying associated with Marvel before Marvel Studios existed.
True.
Because you wouldn't have that nice splash Marvel Studios thing,
True.
but you would have like that private little role that says Marvel.
Let me tell you what else what could happen, which I would not doubt it would happen, because Disney and / Marvel has done this before. We're not talking about as how much this affects comic sales, or doesn't. And Marvel has done it before. You play with me, I will cancel every single one of your books.
Fantastic Four gone. X-Men was gone for a little bit.
And I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
Marvel is the mob right now. They will break your legs. And I do not put it past them to say, you know what? Because I talked to Ray Hunter, who is the owner of Cosby Rays. And I was joking with him and just throwing names out. Like, do we need this book? Do we need this book? And he was like, you don't need 17 Spider-Man books. Mm-hmm. He's like, they don't sell. Mm-hmm. And Marvel could say, you know what? I'm going to give you one Spider-Man title. And guess what? It's Miles.
Yeah.
And because they've done it before. They've done it with Fantastic Four. They've said, F to Fox, we won't give you any help in making these movies. And what happened? So I don't see people coming to Marvel saying, you messed this deal up. I see them coming to Sony.
To add to that point, in another medium, you can look at video games. Mm-hmm. You're familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom, the fighting game?
Yep.
People really love those fighting games because of the crazy combinations you can do, but they really loved it because they featured so many different Marvel people, from X-Men characters to Fantastic Four
Black
characters.
Panther, you got to see Wolverine.
The most recent Marvel vs. Capcom game was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. People were excited because they were coming off of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which had X-Men characters, had Fantastic Four characters. People loved it. All right, that's good to know.
She okay?
Don't do that. Don't do that to them. We're not going to do that. Not on this live show, sir. Y'all, Leroy's the devil, just so y'all know. But I hate you. So yeah, all these games had Marvel characters in it. Mm-hmm. When Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was first introduced, nobody knew if the X-Men characters were going to be in it. Mm-hmm. They were hyped for the trailers that came out. But as the game came out, people didn't like it. One, the graphic style was kind of it wasn't great. Mm-hmm. People really loved the gameplay, but the graphic style was whatever. But it also didn't have any of the X-Men characters in it. Didn't have any Fantastic Four characters in it, because
just the MCU characters.
Just MCU characters, and it focused on Stones, as Endgame and our Infinity War at that time were probably coming out. So we can see that Marvel will pull people out and not care. Conversely, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 came out. It has X-Men characters in it, and people will love it, myself included. They have a DLC pack that's just going to be Fantastic Four. That's just going to be X-Men characters. That's just going to be Marvel Knights characters.
Because that's the one with the Black Order in it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, they are not afraid to pull stuff out and drop it.
And that's the thing that I think. That's the thing that I'm wondering about when it comes to Marvel. How gangster are they? Mm-hmm. You always hear people talk about it in business on the streets. Don't test my gangster. Disney is that entity. Mm-hmm. Do you realize Disney pulled all of their stuff off of Netflix? The amount of money they were making licensing their stuff just to make their own streaming service, because they were like, we want all of that money. Mm-hmm. That's how gangster Disney is. Yeah. Disney was making millions off of that deal. And then turned around and said, not only will we have our own streaming service, Fox, give us that. Mm-hmm.
And now they're the majority owner of Hulu.
And that's how they operate. So Sony, I hope you know what you're doing. And maybe Sony was the one who leaked this. We don't know. The question...
I don't think that is... Why? What?
We don't...
Wait a minute. You got to explain to me, why would Sony leak this story?
Sony ain't been doing bright things all along, so
But I mean, I guess, like, what is the tinfoil theory of how does that help Sony?
Because they're gauging.
Oh, to gauge interest if they could do this?
Mm-hmm. Because this is the thing. Okay. If you're one of those people who are like, we don't need the MCU, we don't need Kevin Feige, look what we did right now. Mm-hmm. Somebody could be like, all right, let's test the waters. Let's see how people would respond if we did this on our own. And then they're like looking at it and they're like, yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah.
It's just, okay. I mean, we don't know.
Okay.
So that's why I look at it, and we're just like you guys. We're just speculating based on the information that we have presently. I just saw Far From Home not too long ago. Mm-hmm. with everything that's going on in the world, Far From Home was what I needed. Me and my wife went to see it. She loved it. She likes... There's a lot of Marvel movies she doesn't too particularly care for. She's not a real big Captain America person, even though I have questioned her patriotism by admitting that.
You've been doing a lot of questioning of people's patriotism today in this video and videos that will soon be up on our channel.
Sir, you will not question the service that John Rambo gave to this country. And fought. John Rambo has fought the Russians, the Viet Cong.
John Rambo, a.k.a. Kevin McAllister.
You will not do that.
You guys will understand what that means later in the video coming out.
John Rambo has served us gloriously.
Okay.
Gave his life.
He gave his life? He's still alive.
I mean, but he had no life.
Okay.
He signed up.
Okay.
He went to jail, sir.
Okay.
He went to Leavenworth. Anyway, got me all.
Yeah.
She likes Spider-Man. She
Okay.
really does. She really enjoyed it. I remember when we went to see Spider-Man Homecoming, and you remember the scene with Michael Keaton when he turned around and got in Tom Holland's grill when they got out to go to the dance. And she was like, oh my, like she was just as excited and shocked as I was. And she was like, I didn't see it coming. And she wanted to see more. She wanted to see Far From Home, and she enjoyed it. So that's one of those things where I think Sony is going to piss off a lot of people, but I also think they possibly could have leaked this test the waters to see how big is this going to be. Like how much are we going to lose if we don't do this? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, by tomorrow this could all be over, and it could be like, hey, we made a deal. We're friends again. But as it stands right now.
All right, so we're moving on, or are we staying on the story?
We're moving on. Thank
right.
you. So if you guys got any comments, let us know. We will. David Cooper, good to see you again, my brother.
So he calls you Leon?
But remember, because that's what they call you, Mark, and Leon. I'm trying to remember who it is. Lauren is Bay. Lauren is Bay, when she watches the video, she doesn't realize our names. So she knows Lauren's name, but she calls me Leon. She calls you Mark.
Well, is that on purpose, or did they really know the name?
I'm actually not sure.
Cool.
And I haven't really asked the person who is Lauren is Bay.
Okay.
Because I kind of don't want to know.
Okay.
And I kind of want to let this joke just ride itself out.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't want to steal nobody's joy.
Okay. All right. So those are our thoughts on MCU overall. MCU's not in danger because Kevin Feige's still running the ship. He got plans on plans.
They got about 19 projects coming out.
Yeah. In terms of Sony, we almost need to see what the second Spider-Man movie would be after the third one. And I say that to say...
Whoa, the second one after the third one.
I know that's where it was, right? I guess the fourth movie, that would be after the third.
Okay.
But then it would be the second one with...
Whatever's after...
Whatever comes after the third.
Spider-Man Home Alone.
Yep. Oh, Kevin McAllister in the webs.
The first one was Homecoming. This one's Far From Home. So this one is probably
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, give us that. Because I think that movie will probably make money no matter what. Just because people are going to want to see a train wreck, whether it's good or bad. So that'll make money. I think you need to wait to the next one to see if people have a fatigue or if they accept it or whatever. So that's why I say you got to wait to the fourth one to see exactly
well, you
what's gonna
probably
happen.
would kind of know from the third one how good or bad or whether or not. Because there are movies that made money but still killed a franchise.
Yeah. But based on this, even if Spider-Man 3 was horrible, they ain't ending it.
True.
Because they got plans for, like we said, TV shows and animated stuff, all kinds.
And we don't even know where that stuff is going.
Right.
Streaming-wise. We
Right.
know that there's an Into the Spider-Verse 2 coming out. We know there's a female-led Spider-Verse coming out.
Animated something, yeah.
We know that there's the movies you talked about, the Morbius, the Black Cat, Silver Sable. We know those are... So and we don't even know what platform those are going on. Because to me... This deal also jeopardizes where the Sony stuff goes if they could go on Disney Plus. So,
all right. So the next story we're talking about is The Matrix. Matrix 4. There you go. Do your bullet time. Yep. There we go. Get back up, old man. And I say that as somebody who would have, if I would have done the same thing too.
I was about to fall out that chair.
I wouldn't have done as good as you did. Matrix 4 is officially happening.
With
Neo and Carrie-Ann Moss.
Okay.
And which of the Wachowskis? Now it doesn't say both of them.
It's only
this
one.
is
Lena.
I think it's Lana.
Lana?
I think it's Lana. It's Lana.
Okay.
Yeah. Lana Wachowski is coming back to write and direct the fourth Matrix movie. Doesn't say anything if her sister Lily Wachowski is going to come back and do it. I'm excited.
You know what name I'm really excited for that you did mention?
Who? Jeff Darrow?
Yep, and?
Steve Scrossi?
Yep.
I feel like you just got me saying these names that I don't even know if they're... Yeah, so those are more the people behind the scenes. Jeff Darrow is conceptual designer for Matrix Trilogy. Steve Scrossi, storyboard artist.
Both of those are comic artists.
Okay.
Big time comic artists.
Okay.
Jeff Darrow drew a book. When I mean he can draw, go check out a book called Hard Boiled. I'll bring it to work. Remind me so you can see it. The stuff he drew, basically, that like you couldn't have had the Matrix without these two people. Steve Scrossi is another great, awesome artist. Was also a Spider-Man artist for Marvel for a while. Jeff Darrow's done a lot of indie stuff, but Hard Boiled is one of the books that he drew with Frank Miller. It's now in development to be a movie, just based off his artwork alone, because it's just that amazing. Okay. So that's why I'm.
And Steve Scrossi.
Yeah, Steve Scrossi.
What did they draw?
Oh no, he did Spider-Man as well. That's why I said Steve Scrossi. He did.
Then what did Jeff Darrow do?
He did Hard Boiled.
Okay, I got you. All right.
So he did. So he's done other stuff. Shaolin Cowboy. Steve Scrossi. I know him mainly as a Spider-Man artist, but he I don't want to say he left the business, but he's been mainly doing storyboard stuff. Those are the two that are really interesting to me because I'm glad you have Lana Wachowski. I'm glad you have Neo back, aka Keanu Reeves, and Carrie-Anne Moss. But having those two means you're going to have the movies look and feel close to what you had, or whatever they design is going to be amazing because their art is so amazing.
So let's do the devil's advocate thing. I'm really excited about Matrix 4. Is it gonna be good? Because Matrix 1, man, that was revolutionary. 1999. What is the Matrix? That thing was cool.
You said that as Rayshawn typed. What do you think the story will be? Literally, as you were saying that, Rayshawn typed it, and same thing with IMAX. I know it's sci-fi, but how are they going to bring Trinity back? She had several large cables run through her in the third one.
Yeah. So I wasn't even worried about how they bring people back, because, I mean, you can do whatever. I just mean, like, the third one kind of ended on a whimper. Like, that first one was really cool.
Well, the first one was revolutionary.
Yeah, the second and third. The second one looked cool. But the architect, man, you started talking too much. And
I like the architect. That's the thing.
You would.
For me, why do you have this disdain on your face?
Remember that. I have disdain, as you said. I like the architect. You would like the architect.
I would have drawn your forehead right now.
Yeah,
I would have drawn a red pill on your head.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You're right. I still remember, to this day, The Matrix. There are very few movies that I've ever gone to the movie theater without seeing a trailer, knowing nothing about it. There are two movies, Heat from Michael Mann and The Matrix from the Wachowski brothers. Mm-hmm. Didn't know anything about it. Just saw a clip. Was like, this is interesting. It has Keanu in it. I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
And I literally sat in that movie. 7. That's another one. I had no idea what I was getting into with 7. Sat in that movie theater, and it was literally like, what the did I just see? Mm-hmm. And it literally changed the world. The nomenclature that introduced the idea that a cyberpunk movie, to a certain extent, could finally be made outside. I mean, taking all of these elements from anime, from Blade Runner, from manga, from comics, and integrating it to the internet was life-changing. Do you remember when they took the 3D camera and put it in football?
Mm-hmm. To like shoot around and stuff? Yeah.
I remember how they did that when they put 17 digital cameras around and then just took a picture like it changed how we did movies. It changed everything.
It changed video games, man. You got Max Payne with bullet time.
Yep, you're right.
Inspired from Matrix.
So I'm with you on the sense of 3 went out with the whimper. I'm wondering, can the Matrix do it again?
Do you mean like, is it going to be revolutionary again?
Yeah, like can you see those, like, think about it now. Can the Matrix do? Can they pull another rabbit out of their hat?
I think the Matrix can be evolutionary, not revolutionary.
Explain the difference, sir. Mr. SAT words.
Right. To me, I'll look at it as a video game because I love video games. Super Mario 64 was revolutionary to computer games and 3D games.
Okay.
Because before that, nobody really had a good way to control a 3D camera.
Okay.
Super Mario 64, while not perfect, their camera was pretty good and revolutionary at the time. Also, you were really getting into 3D space. That whole controller they have, the 3 prongs, all that was revolutionary in terms of what you could do and going forward with 3D video games.
Okay.
That was revolutionary. Now, something like another Mario game, let's say
Smash
Mario, a Mario solo game. Let's say like Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. That was evolutionary because by that point, you still had people making 3D games, but that kind of evolved and kind of updated the camera movement and overall feel of gameplay in terms of like that. So to me, I don't think they're going to be able to completely do anything. Oh my gosh, this is something I've never seen before. I just think maybe they can evolve and be like, okay, this is a cool movie. This is something. Maybe you don't change the landscape, but you give people ideas where you can do other stuff.
Maybe. I guess the whole Rayshawn. I honestly
great scenes, man. Great scenes.
Rayshawn, I don't know what the story will be. I want to believe that they had a story, and this isn't a cash grab. In other words, perfect example. Toy Story 3 looked like it ended the franchise, like it was done. Mm-hmm. Toy Story 4 came out, and people were like, who? Toy Story 4 was amazing.
They figured out a way to make it matter.
Even, I would say, don't kill me, better than The Incredibles 2.
I don't think people would fight you on that.
Okay,
I don't think people...
Incredible 2 was good.
Was fine, but it wasn't like Incredibles 1.
And so...
Yeah, I think people would agree with that.
So, Toy Story 4, they had a story that they were like, we're going to do this. Because you could have been making Toy Story movies and just keep making money. Mm-hmm. But they were like, no. They waited until they had the story to say, this is what we want to do. And I'm wondering if that's what this is with The Matrix.
Yeah, so, because we just talked about it. 99 came out, so 19 now would be 20 years. Mm-hmm. If they wanted to, they definitely could have made more Matrix movies, for sure. Just keep pushing them out. They could have probably released one in the 20th anniversary as a way to really market it. It's 20 years, we're coming back, blah, blah, blah. The fact that they waited so long that it's coming out, it doesn't start production supposedly until early 2020, according to the IGN article.
Yeah.
Makes me think that they have a good idea for a story. Like they took time to craft this idea and come up with something cool.
Well, this is the thing that I've always loved about The Matrix, and I think Marvel is one of the few companies that have done it with what they've been doing recently. The Matrix was ahead of its time. The Matrix, not just as far as the movie, the franchise was ahead of its time. Because you bring up video games. Do you remember the video game for The Matrix?
Which one?
The one
where you weren't Neo? Or the one where you were Neo?
The one where you were Neo that played directly into the storyline of the movies.
Yeah.
So you had that. Remember the Animatrix.
Mm-hmm. And
remember they had a 3D movie or animated part that played directly into the beginning of 2. So the Wachowskis and the Matrix were made for this new world because they were doing things before we had streaming platforms. Because this is the thing. What Marvel is attempting to do with Disney Plus and Disney, them all getting together, they're like, look, we've got the comic books, we've got the streaming platform, we've got the movies. They're all feeder systems for each other. Mm-hmm. The Wachowskis did that without having any of that.
True.
They had, the Animatrix still is one of my favorite movies. just from how they explained how the Robot Nation came to be. The cubes that just, and then you got to pick which different timeline, and you got to see different. So they have stories out the ass that they could be doing.
Yeah.
The question is, using the new medium that we have of video games, comic books, movies, television, what do they have planned? Because what I'm saying is, this is what they were able to do. I don't want to say with a limited budget, but remember, they made the first movie after they made the movie Bound. Mm-hmm. Bound was the movie the Wachowskis were given before they could make The Matrix. After The Matrix was made, Keanu Reeves, Fishburne, all of them went on to do other things because they weren't locked up to do these movies. Remember, they had to fight with Tank to get and his brother Dozer. Because remember, Tank died, Dozer was still alive, but then he wanted more money. The character, and so they didn't have Dozier come back. So that's
didn't need him. But go ahead.
What I'm saying is, you had you had this gap between the movies where you had to get all these people back. Because remember, Keanu Reeves went and did Hardball. He did all these different movies. So now they have the cachet that we're doing The Matrix. What are they going to do with that? Yeah. And that's what's interesting to me. When you have, now you are the Wachowskis. People have seen what you can make. Regardless of how you feel about Speed Racer, that is a beautiful movie.
Speed Racer is fun, man.
That is a beautiful.
Speed Racer is a fun movie.
Holy cow, that movie's amazing. Mm-hmm. So.
Also, Sense8. I keep stressing it. Watch Sense8. It was fun.
So, I mean, look at Sense8. Look what they were able to do with television. With the budget that they were given, they blew it out. But look at the story they were able to tell. Yeah. So my question is, or not even my question. I think they can do it again. I think they can I think they have the potential to irrevocably change cinema again, because I don't think they're a one-trick pony. I think because that's what I'm saying.
For you, they are going to revolutionize.
I think they have the possibility. I put it like this: there are very few directors who you say, sight unseen, I'll go see it. The Wachowskis are one of them. Mm-hmm. You'll give them a you'll be like, whatever James Cameron. You'll give them a shot. For me, it's Nolan. Mm-hmm. Nolan says I'm doing. If Nolan.
Hey chat, we'll check this when we come back. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to say, did you guys ever see the Nolan trailer? Because I still haven't seen it yet.
It's only on certain movies.
So I'm just curious if you guys have seen it.
Some people have seen it, and they're like,
let us know in the chat if you saw that trailer.
And the people who've seen it are like, they're Nolanites. Like they now can Nolan can do no wrong for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Not just because of what he did with Batman. Inception. I mean, that was just, when you think about it, you couldn't have Inception without The Matrix. You couldn't.
I get that.
You that's how big The Matrix was. In terms
of frames within frames and worlds within worlds.
Not just for the story. You already introduced people to the idea that you can be in one place while in another place. Your consciousness can be projected someplace else. Who gave you that? The Wachowski brothers, who then took that from Ghost in the Shell, who then took that from Snow Crash, William Gibson. So you had these ideas. I think that Lana, is it Lana?
If Lana, I would say Lana.
Okay, so I believe they have the potential to do it. Mm-hmm. David Cooper says Sense8 was amazing. IMAX says Speed Racer was dope.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this because I think now Keanu is a little older. I think he's a little bit more settled. I love Carrie-Anne Moss. I want to see her in more things. And
I am watching the final season of Jessica Jones. She is amazing in it. I'm really enjoying Jessica Jones season 3, and all the female actors are knocking out of the park. Kristen Ritter, Carrie-Anne Moss, the girl who plays Patsy, I can think of what her name is. I think she's Australian or whatever, but they're all killing it. And Carrie-Anne Moss is fierce in this role. And I just want to see her bring that back to Matrix for sure.
I've watched everything she's been in, just because I love.
Did you watch that CBS show she was in?
What CBS show?
She was on a CBS show for like a season.
What's the show?
I can't remember what it was. It didn't last long, but she was in it.
She was in a show?
Yeah.
I missed that one. I gotta go IMDb that one because I missed that one. So yeah, I'm all on board for The Matrix because The Matrix, I still remember what movie theater I saw it in, where I sat, who I was with. Like it's still in my mind. So
I'm looking up Hugo Weaving because somebody asked about Agent Smith, and like, you know, since we're dealing with computer worlds, you can make up some BS reason for why you're bringing people back. So I figured they're smart enough to figure out a reason why to bring Trinity back and Neo and whoever, and maybe even Agent Smith. I wonder if I would want to see Agent Smith or maybe somebody else.
I would like
as a villain or antagonist.
I would like to see Agent Smith just to see, so the evolution of the Matrix. Like, what does he? How do you feel like? What happens when you realize you lost? Kind of like, remember how we saw the Red Skull in Endgame and in Infinity War? Mm-hmm. I would like to see Agent Smith in that kind of situation. Like, what happens when you lost?
See, I wonder what Hugo Weaving's thoughts are on the Matrix. I believe he enjoyed working on that. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of going off secondhand hearsay. I know he wasn't a big fan. Like, he was cool that he did Captain America, but he didn't really want to come back doing it.
He did not like the prosthetics.
And that's why you got that lookalike guy who did a good job.
And this is the thing. A lot of people do not like that prosthetic work sitting in that chair for that long.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence hated the X-Men prosthetics. You've heard from people who have had to do that. Ron Perlman talks about it. It takes a lot to do that. Jim Carrey when he did the
Mask.
Not the Mask. The Grinch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot to do. So
yeah, I am curious if he would come back. On Wikipedia, they already have him listed for The Matrix 4.
Yeah, but I can edit that.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody already has it listed, but again, that's not been verified.
While we were here.
Right, that's not been verified, and the page doesn't go anywhere. So,
but you know what? You're onto something. It would be interesting to see what else, but also,
because the last thing he did was Mortal Engines, which looked cool, didn't go anywhere.
Man, it looked great.
It looked great. That didn't go anywhere.
And you know what the sad part about it is?
What's that?
I'm to the point now where if I'm watching a movie, I'm watching something and it's trash, I'll take it out. I kept watching that because I was like,
it's gonna get better.
Yeah, I was like, it's gotta get
something's
better.
gonna happen. This movie gonna be good.
I was like, I was just thinking, everybody can't be right.
This movie looks too good to be bad. This gonna be hot. It was not.
I was like, I wanted to be mad at you. Like, you were mad at me when I told you a movie was bad. And you were like, why you tell me it was this bad? And I was like, I told you.
Yeah.
The Brothers Grimm.
Grimsby?
Yeah. When I told you, I was like, it is not a good movie.
Yeah, it was not.
And you were like, I can get, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You got to that rhinoceros seat. You were like, woo.
Yeah, this is before that, but that didn't help.
Also, another tidbit, Anakin loves that movie.
Of course he does. Yeah. So that's pretty much it on Matrix.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to hit on?
The more I think about it, the more excited I get. Like, when I first heard about it, Tony came to my desk, and I was kind of like, whatever, man. But I was doing...
But then you had to think about it for a second?
Well, the more I think about the Matrix, because I own the special anniversary, whatever. Mm-hmm. The more I think about it, and the more I think about just how the movie was crafted and what they were able to do in that first movie, from the opening scene, from when Trinity's talking to, what's his name? It's Joe Pantalone.
Joey Pants.
Thank you, Joey Pants. When has this
Cypher. Cypher? Was he Cypher?
I thought the blonde lady was Cypher.
No, not like this.
It's like just
that's the best thing the Matrix ever gave us.
Like,
not like this.
I just remember how I felt watching it. Certain scenes, like when she had the doubt and then she ran, and Lawrence Fishburne when they were in the helicopter and they're like, "Get up," and he's like, "Rah!" and then he ran and he missed, and then Neo caught him, and then he did. And then when he caught Trinity, did this.
Yeah.
And he stood and he literally caught Trinity, like when he pulled. Oh.
You gonna be all right?
No, I have to watch that movie again tonight.
I was like, okay.
So, that movie was everything.
That movie was everything.
It was like that whole thing that happened, and then And this is another thing. This is another reason why Hobbs and Shaw didn't hit for me.
Okay, let's go to this.
Neo consistently got his ass kicked in that movie. Mm-hmm. He even got his ass kicked at the end by Agent Smith. But
going.
When he became the one. Mm-hmm. Remember, he was like, and then he ran. He was still like, that's.
Well, no.
Yeah, remember?
No, when he became the one, he didn't lose.
No.
Once he realized when he was the one,
I'm not talking about at the end. I'm talking like after he caught Trinity, he got Morpheus into the thing, and Agent Smith shot the phone booth, and he was like, he wasn't the one then.
That's interesting that you. So yeah,
he was like, even though he knew, okay, I've got something, he still wasn't like, I'm not. He only fought at the very end, and even then, it took him a while to figure out, because Agent Smith was wiping the floor with him in the beginning.
Yeah,
and it was that one. Till then, that's when he realized, and that's the difference between Hobbs and Shaw and these new movies, where everybody's tough and buff, and they're like, I'm gonna be like Keanu Reeves in that entire movie got the crap kicked out of him.
You guys should, if you haven't seen it, go out and check out our review of Hobbs and Shaw. We talked about this a little bit, but essentially, you need to show vulnerability in your heroes. Otherwise, who cares?
Yeah,
they just beat everything. You got to show them weak. That's why I was saying Jackie Chan is a master, because he shows vulnerability and getting his butt whooped. So you're like, oh, when he comes back, you believe that he did something. You care about him overcoming that struggle. Hobbs and Shaw did is beating people up.
Yeah, it was kind of soulless.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that Keanu Reeves brought to that wide-eyed, whoa, I know Kung Fu. Like that was just one of those roles where only Keanu Reeves could have pulled that off. And now, with the Keanu we know as John Wick, what does he bring to are you now the one? You know, are you a god to these people? Mm-hmm. Is there another one, or do you have to go back, and has humanity crawled out from the remnants of Zion, and they're now on the offensive? Do you got to break out and eat? There's so many different things you could do, but that first movie was such a pinnacle movie that it, again, I can't stress this enough, it changed the world in the sense of that movie was amazing.
You need a moment? Are you good?
I just...
kind of want to move topics, but you...
No, we go. I'm good.
You done?
I'm good.
Okay, he's done, audience. This is a shorter topic. It deals with gaming overall. Mm-hmm. Wanted to put this out there to you guys. So Gamescom is happening right now in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
We still haven't seen, because we're behind on everything, so we still haven't seen the original opening night trailer presentation for Gamescom. So we want to know...
Is our thing stuck?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to know, would you guys...
Keep going.
Okay. Would you guys want to see us react to that opening night video from Gamescom? Let us know in the chat, and we'll decide whether or not we do that or not. Because again, we still haven't seen it, so you would be getting our honest reactions as we watched it. We may do it as a live stream, but again, the video that you would see would have been days old. We just haven't seen it yet. So let us know in the chat what you guys are doing with that. Also,
Anna Grace.
AG.
Fine.
Anna Grace.
What?
Question. Have you ever seen The Matrix?
Parts of it, yeah.
Get out.
I'm sorry.
Get out.
I'm so sorry.
Why did you... Her job is now in jeopardy. I'm going to go talk to management. You haven't seen the whole Matrix?
No, but my dad really liked
Get out.
it.
Get out. Get out.
It's okay.
No, it's not.
If it ain't for her, it ain't for her.
It probably is for me. I just haven't sat down and ever watched it.
So then let her watch it.
Your homework assignment is to watch The Matrix by the end of the week.
Where are they?
What
where
do you-
can I watch them?
They're everywhere. The library, Hulu,
They're on Hulu? All of them?
one of them. They're on Netflix, I know that.
They're all on Netflix.
One of them is on Netflix.
They track
I know
down
that.
the
Yeah.
streaming places to find all the movies.
My plan didn't work, basically. I had
Yeah.
a plan. I wanted to see if the Matrix was as revolutionary as I thought it was.
Yeah, you
By
sound
asking-
real foolish.
by-
Thank
by-
you, AG, for making it
It
look foolish.
Thank
probably
you.
is.
No. What you said is great.
Nah.
Okay, bye.
Later. All right.
Continue. Gamescom.
Gamescom's happening right now. So yeah, we want to know,
Don't care.
Now, he feels hurt. We want to know if you guys would want us to react to that opening video. It's like 2 hours, so just let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
But also, as Game Comes is happening, we talked about Sony buying Insomniac, which is cool. I kind of hate it because I wanted to be able to do whatever.
Do you really hate it, or are you just being facetious?
I do hate it.
Really?
Yeah, because I want them to be able to make... I really want a sequel to Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive, I'm pretty sure, is owned by Microsoft, like the IP.
Yeah.
So...
You're not getting that.
Right, and I want Insomniac to make it. I don't want somebody else to make it. I want Insomniac to make it. So that probably ain't going to happen.
Well, Sunset Overdrive, couldn't they just make another one since they own the IP?
Microsoft?
Yeah.
Right, but I want Insomniac to make it. I want that studio to make it.
I understand that. What I'm saying is you wanted a sequel, and that
Made
game
by
is iconic.
Insomniac. Like, I want that studio to make it.
I understand that. But if you can't get it made by Insomniac...
Then I don't want it.
Okay.
Why are we still talking about this? I feel like I was real clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Continue.
Also...
I was trying to give you your game, man.
But it's not going to be... I don't feel like it'll be the same. It's kind of like when other studios take over games, like this doesn't have the same feel as other people have made it. So maybe the studio could do it justice. I don't know.
Or kind of like Sony doing their own Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, to tie it all back around, Sony doing their own Spider-Man movie. Exactly. Yeah. GameStop lost
120 or 140.
over 100 corporate in like the corporate.
Half of those jobs
world.
will guess where it came from.
Game Informer.
Yep.
I don't really read Game Informer anymore. It's fine, and I get it because I do like their used discount sales. I know a lot of people hate GameStop, and I can understand why, because it is like a ripoff. They give you $10 for a game, or maybe they give you $25 for a game. They'll resell it for $55, I guess, probably $5 in the new version. But not counting corporate GameStop, people are still trying to make a living.
Yeah.
I remember being a manager at GameStop, giving people minimum wage jobs. Whatever the minimum wage is, this is what you're making, for your 3 or 4 hours at a time. So I feel like that kind of sucks. And I don't know if this is a death knell for GameStop or whatever. I mean, they're trying to restructure. We know they had other layoffs in the past. I just want to throw that out there and say, shouts out to the people who are working at GameStop, the 9-to-5 grind. Maybe not the corporate people, but people, the good people who work at GameStop, because there can be people who suck. But there are also people who want to...
Pricks. Yeah,
there are also people who want to let new people in, and...
GameStop's an easy way to do that.
Yeah, there are people who want to get new people into video games. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to throw that out there.
I personally... I remember trading stuff at GameStop when I was younger, not knowing any better. I know better now. I remember going to GameStop for new releases, midnight releases. I even though some people do not have fond memories of GameStop or have problems with it, I like GameStop. When I say that, I like what GameStop represents. The corporate monster that it is I don't know. I don't like people losing their jobs.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a manager and I had to fire people. Even when I was a manager, I still called my dad, was like, I don't feel good about this. And I just couldn't do it. It's part of the reason why I've never really looked for more management jobs recently is because I don't want that responsibility. I don't like telling someone, even if it's warranted. Like sometimes but like when you got to lay off people, that's not a great feeling. When you got to let people go, it's not a great feeling. So I know that feeling. And then I know what it's like to be unemployed. I know what it's like to be laid off. It is not fun. So I do not wish any of that, even on just maybe some of the corporate people. I don't wish that on them. My question about GameStop is, and a lot of people, they hate GameStop, they hate GameStop, they hate GameStop. What's going to take its place?
Straight digital stuff.
No. Like, there's nothing that takes the place of walking into a store and talking with someone and them introducing you to something.
True.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what's going to take that spot? And that's where I caution people who just come down on GameStop, who are just like, GameStop. the guys who work at GameStop, the people you talk about, they're just like us. They're game players. They enjoy, that's why they work there.
Mm-hmm.
They work there because they enjoy doing it. There is nothing like going someplace and being introduced to something new that you did not know before. What is going to take that place? Because you're not going to get that going to Best Buy. You're not going to get that going to Target. You're not going to get that online. That experience, and that's why I do not want the death of GameStop. I want GameStop to evolve.
Yeah. I think there are certain places you could go and still get some of that, because before I was working at News 19, or kind of currently, no, before, I worked at GameStop, I worked at Best Buy.
You worked at Toys R Us.
I did, man. I worked at Toys R Us. That was while I was working at News 19. Toys R Us was fun with my 2 kids y'all gave me. That's a fun story, y'all. Maybe we'll tell y'all about the fake kids that News 19 gave me.
They're not fake.
Don't do that.
Just because you don't take care of them.
Don't do that. Don't put that out there. Don't start a new hashtag that then I have to go and fight.
Michael needs to take care of his kids.
Fantastic. Fantastic indeed.
But yeah, I mean, I remember going to a store, and to take comics for example. Like you love games, I love comics. Mm-hmm. I remember I went to Scratch and Spin. Not Scratch and Spin, I'm sorry. Pump Monkey when it was open. It was a local comic book store, and Dan, who was the manager and used to work the front, I was talking to him and I was picking up a book, and he said, "Oh, you like this? You should check out this book." And I was like, "Huh, I never really got into this company or whatever." And he was like, "If you don't like it, you missed out on, you spent $4." Mm-hmm. And I picked it up and I loved it. And that's the relationship that I miss with GameStop. Like now I'm older, I know what I want. Mm-hmm. There's very few things that you can introduce me when it comes to certain video games. I could be like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." You have done it because you have a very vast knowledge. But I miss that for somebody new coming
right.
in. And how do you, like you talk about Andrea Mock, who's our morning show main anchor and our Friends of Five anchor. Andrea has a small child. Mm-hmm. And I just think about her going to a store and trying to get a game for her son that's appropriate for him. Mm-hmm. They would be able to help him. And that's the kind of thing that I kind of want GameStop to evolve with. So I don't like that GameStop had to lay off 40 people. I want them to evolve so that they don't have to lay off 40 people and they don't rip people off when they have to trade stuff in. Yeah. So
that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So we got at least one person who would watch us do the Gamescom thing. I kind of want to do it just because I haven't seen it yet, and it isn't much editing we have to do. So we could maybe do it tomorrow.
We can do it tomorrow.
Yeah. I feel like we're done. Anything you want to say? I feel like we got everything we wanted to say.
I want to say shout out to David Cooper. No Matrix on Latin American Netflix, but David, you guys have some awesome stuff on Latin American Netflix that I've been trying to hack my Netflix account to get. So, there's country codes for certain Netflix.
I do. That's not why I freaked out. I freaked out because you said the word hack. Like, Neo? But
there's certain ways that you can get onto other Netflix platforms to get certain things. So, like, Luther's not on the American Netflix, but it is on, if I was in the UK, it's on there. Okay. So, stuff like that. IMAX, yeah, man, you were correct. Will Smith turned down The Matrix to do The Wild Wild West.
Hey, you know what?
The Wild Wild West.
Hindsight is 20/20. It's crazy West. Now. I probably would have done the same thing. Because that was a huge check. You don't know what you're getting into. He's trying to make that money. I respect it.
I understand why he did it. I would have done it because just when I would have read the script, I'd have been like, you're about to do this? Oh, yeah, I'd have done The Matrix. Because that's just... I would have done The Matrix. I want to say, what's up to Ray Sean?
I'm going to sign this off, but you tell all the people, hey.
See who else is in here. Beth, thank you for chiming in. Nick Jones, Miles Cage, Clay Porters, what's up? IMAX, when I leave here, I'm going to go listen to Little Brother. Not even gonna lie to you. I finally got it. My phone was acting up, so it wouldn't let me listen to it. So I'm only 4 songs in. I've been working all day, so I hadn't even had a chance. But as soon as I leave here, I'm going to go eat and I'm going to go listen to Little Brother. Michael's over there about to shut this down. So I wanted to say thank you for guys for watching. And for the News 19 nerds, we're out.